Welcome to this week's edition of New York Now. I'm Dan Clark. Thousands of people have died at nursing homes in New York from COVID-19, and this week the state published a report saying it wasn't at fault. Instead, the Department of Health said that nursing home staff and visitors brought the virus into those facilities early on. Here's Health Commissioner Howard Zucker.
The data shows that the nursing home residents got COVID from the staff and presumably also from those who visited them. Unfortunately, we did not understand the disease early on. We did not realize how widespread it was within our community, and therefore it was able to be introduced into a vulnerable population.
Not everybody agrees with the state's report. With me now to talk about that and more is Karen DeWitt from New York State Public Radio. Karen, thanks for being here.
Sure thing.
So Karen, how are people reacting to this report? Are they buying it, or is it some truth? What are we seeing?
Well, I think that there is a truth in what Dr. Zucker was saying, that that staff could have brought in the virus. It does seem like it was here much earlier than people thought, and that it was here in mid-February to late February, and that perhaps visitors brought it in because visitors weren't banned until mid-March. But I don't know if that's the whole story on it, because what they didn't say is how many people left the nursing homes, were admitted to the hospital, and died in the hospital. And without that number, you don't have a really good count of how many nursing home deaths there actually were. So it's hard to draw a conclusion from that. And, Cuomo's been criticized by the right-wing media, by the Republicans. He's very sensitive about this. That's partly why they made a big deal of this report. But I guess I would just add that Democrats are also skeptical, and it's very likely that the Democrats who lead the state Senate and Assembly are going to call hearings any day now, and they're going to look into this as well to just get a fuller picture of what happened. Because I think what Dr. Zucker is saying is, partially the truth, but I think people really need to dig down and know more, because it's really, really important. And you would hope if we do have a second wave that, you don't make any mistakes the second time around.
So in other words, the case is not closed on this. We could see lawmakers come back, hold hearings. Would that result in legislation? Do we know what would come out of that, Karen? I mean, what actions can they take, if any?
Well, I think it really depends what the conclusions are. And if it turns out that this March 25th directive was the wrong thing, then I guess they would hope that it wouldn't be, implemented again in the unfortunately second round that we may get.
So this week also, the governor had some non-news news. Schools may open in the fall. They may not open in the fall. He says they're going to make a decision by early August. What are they considering here, Karen? Because we know that the president is really pushing for schools to open. The governor is saying that they want to be a little bit more cautious. So what are we looking at in terms of a timeline, and what factors are they considering?
Well, I think they want to wait to the last possible moment to make a decision on schools, get as much information as they can. I mean, we're learning new things about the virus, it seems, every day, if not every week. And there's all kinds of possibilities. Schools could fully reopen. That sounds less and less likely, though. Partial reopening, where children go on alternative days, or the governor still hasn't ruled out that schools might not reopen at all. So the uncertainty really does continue for parents on this.
We also had a really big decision from the Supreme Court this week relating to Manhattan District Attorney Cy Vance. The Supreme Court saying that the president will have to hand over his tax returns to Cy Vance. Karen, what does this mean in the long term? I mean, I know that Cy Vance was looking at some criminal charges, maybe not relating to the president. We don't really know because it's a privileged investigation. But before I let you go, tell me what you've been hearing on that.
Yeah, I think it's something that is going to be really in the long run, because nobody's going to know before elections what Trump's taxes are. And many, many Democrats, Governor Andrew Cuomo, State Attorney General Tish James tried to get at them. She was denied that by a federal judge. I think a lot of Democrats would love to see Trump's taxes before November, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Right. As you mentioned, we've been looking at this for a long time, for the past couple of years. Democrats in the state legislature had a bill. It became a law that would allow Congress to get a hold of the president's tax returns if they requested them. Of course, that was held up in court. It's now on appeal, and we'll see where it goes. Karen DeWitt from New York State Public Radio, thanks so much for being here on New York Now this week. As always, we love having you.
You're welcome.